The rap world didn't just wake up, it jolted out of bed like someone dumped ice water on its face. Because OTF Boona getting arrested just blew the entire internet off its hinges. This isn't rapper caught with a traffic ticket energy. Oh no. This is full-on murder case explosion. The type of plot twist that makes the Kardashians look like a calm yoga retreat. The streets are buzzing, blogs are panicking. And Lil Durk's whole circle is under a spotlight so bright it could tan you through the screen. Because when an OTF member gets picked up, it's never simple. It's never quiet. It's never just paperwork. It's chaos with legs. And this time, the chaos didn't walk, it sprinted. The whispers are loud, the reports are messy, and the details are so wild that even crime documentaries are looking at this case like, relax, we can't keep up. And the craziest part? The way this arrest connects to old beefs, old warnings, and old street situations people swore were dead and buried. But clearly, something was still breathing underground. What you're about to hear is the kind of story that doesn't leak. It escapes. And once it's out, there's no putting it back. The moment news dropped that OTF Boona had been arrested, the internet didn't just react, it convulsed. Comment sections turned into crime scenes. Twitter transformed into a courtroom. And YouTube became a full-blown detective agency. This wasn't your average rap arrest that gets forgotten in a week. This was the type of case that had the streets pacing, the blogs foaming at the mouth, and fans refreshing their feeds like they were waiting for Beyoncé tickets. Because Boona isn't just some side character in Lil Durk's universe, he's one of the names tied to the deeper, darker chapters of the OTF storyline. And let's be clear, Boona has been in headlines before, but this time felt different. This wasn't chaos sprinkled on top of clout. This was the kind of legal situation that makes lawyers cancel vacations and detectives work overtime. Reports came in fast and messy, each one sounding crazier than the last. People started digging up old footage, old interviews, old tweets, trying to piece together how the past came crashing into the present like a runaway truck with no brakes. What sent shockwaves through the culture was how the details started leaking slowly, then all at once. First, whispers of a warrant, then confirmation of an arrest, then the bombshell. The case was tied to a murder investigation. Suddenly, every rumor about OTF's street ties came blasting back into the spotlight. People said the past finally caught up. Others said this was part of a bigger war bubbling beneath the surface. No matter the angle, the internet agreed this was about to get ugly. To understand why the reaction was so explosive, you have to rewind. OTF has always been surrounded by a storm of street rumors, tragedies, betrayals, and headlines that look like they were written by someone addicted to plot twists. King Von, Duty Low, THF Zoo, Lil Durk himself fighting legal cases. Every time you think the story is calming down, another chapter detonates, and Boona. He's been orbiting this chaos from the beginning. Fans know him from his loyalty, from being in the trenches with Von, from appearing in videos with Durk like a soldier standing beside a general. But loyalty in this world isn't just a trait, it's a liability. It ties you to history, whether you want it or not. And when history involves shootings, beefs, and bodies, the legal system pays attention. This arrest made people realize just how closely law enforcement had been watching. Things got even more intense when documents revealed the case was connected to a shooting that left multiple people injured and one person dead. The details were muddy, the timelines messy, but the implication was crystal clear. Someone from OTF was again entangled in a life-or-death situation. And not just any someone with ties to Durk's inner circle. That alone sent hip-hop into a frenzy. Blogs immediately started digging into the timeline, pulling out every incident that might connect to this new arrest. They brought up the infamous Atlanta case involving Durk and Von, The one people still whisper about in comment threads like it's forbidden knowledge. They mentioned every feud OTF had been tied to. Every shooting, every rumor. Even things that had nothing to do with Boona were suddenly being thrown into the pot like seasoning. When a scandal hits someone close to Durk, the internet throws logic out the window and becomes a conspiracy buffet. But the reactions weren't just loud, they were divided. Durk supporters said Boona was innocent until proven guilty. They said the system had been waiting to jump on any OTF member they could. They argued authorities were targeting Chicago artists because it makes for dramatic headlines. Meanwhile, critics said the arrest didn't surprise them. They called it inevitable, predictable, the cost of the life. The clash of opinions made the situation go viral faster than any rollout. What fueled the frenzy even more was the speed at which prosecutors began talking. Usually, cases like this stay quiet for months. But this time, reporters were dropping details like they were auditioning for a crime show. They described the incident, the victims, the witnesses, the chaos. The language was theatrical, almost like they were trying to make the case sound bigger than life. The media loves a good OTF scandal, and they treated this one like a Black Friday sale. Then came the mugshot, the image that spread across social media like wildfire. People began analyzing his facial expression, comparing it to old pictures, claiming they could see the stress. Some said he looked angry. Others said he looked resigned. A few delusional fans said he looked handsome. The internet will find anything to argue about, even the lighting of a mugshot. Once the initial shock passed, attention shifted to how this would affect Lil Durk. Because no matter what OTF does, Durk gets pulled into it. That's the curse of leadership. When you run a collective tide to the streets and the industry, every arrest, every charge, every rumor becomes your shadow. And in this case, the shadow was massive. Fans began asking whether Durk was under investigation again, whether authorities were building a case, whether this would drag him back into the legal battle he spent years trying to escape. People even speculated on Durk's silence. He didn't post. He didn't comment. He didn't tweet cryptic messages. And that silence made the internet lose its mind. Some said he was strategizing. Others said he was devastated. A few conspiracy theorists said he knew this was coming. Every hour of silence added fuel to the fire. Durk's absence became part of the story at the same time. OTF fans resurfaced old clips of Boona showing loyalty to Durk and Von, especially footage from before the tragedies hit. They painted him as a warrior, a soldier, someone who always held it down. But prosecutors painted him as the opposite, a threat, a danger, someone connected to violent street activity. The duality made the situation even more emotionally charged, while the world argued online. One thing became clear: this wasn't just another rapper arrest. This was the opening scene of a much bigger, much darker story. A story filled with broken alliances, resurrected beefs, street politics, and a justice system that never forgets. Fans said the streets were about to talk. Critics said the law was about to hit hard. And insiders said this was just the beginning, because when a murder case blows up, nobody walks away untouched. Not the artists, not the crew, not the city, not the culture. The moment OTF Boona's arrest hit social media, the entire rap world spiraled into the kind of chaos usually reserved for season finales. Twitter turned into a digital riot. TikTok detectives clocked into work like they were getting paid overtime, and Instagram blogs fought each other for the juiciest angle. This wasn't just trending, it was detonating. People treated them. News Like the Streets sent out a mass notification titled, "We Back Outside." The first shockwave came when everyone realized the case wasn't some brand new situation. No, this was tied to an older shooting that people believed had quietly faded into history. But apparently, history didn't fade. It was loading. Like a villain in a thriller who disappears for 3 episodes only to return with a vengeance, law enforcement picked their moment to strike. Fans joked that the police treat OTF like a serialized drama, where every season must include a plot twist involving someone from the crew. Then the celebrity reactions hit. Rappers who normally mind their business suddenly became part-time philosophers. Some posted cryptic, keep your circle tight quotes, while others dropped emojis that told the story without saying a word. Laughing faces, snakes, clocks, fire emojis, everything short of tagging the people they were shading. You could practically hear the pettiness vibrating through the screen. Instagram influencers got involved too, acting like they grew up on O Block even though they've never been near Chicago. Verified accounts posted think pieces longer than their entire careers. Some blamed the system, some blamed the streets, and some blamed Durk because blaming Durk has become a national pastime. Meanwhile, bloggers were uploading breaking news every 5 minutes like they had detectives on payroll. But let's not forget the memes, the internet's favorite coping mechanism. One meme showed an FBI board covered in OTF photos, string lines, and thumbtacks like a crime documentary intro. Another compared Boona's arrest to an OTF season opener. Someone even said, Durk, living a Lifetime movie every 3 months. The trolling hit every corner of the rap world, and fans were eating it up like popcorn in a movie theater. Then came the viral twist that changed everything. Someone dug up background details, connecting this arrest to an incident involving multiple victims. Suddenly, this wasn't just a legal hiccup, it was a storyline with layers, motives, and history. The shooting had always raised questions, and now those questions were being dragged back into daylight. Detectives described it with the kind of dramatic language usually found in crime fiction. And hip-hop media treated the details like they were hosting a true crime podcast. As always, Lil Durk's silence became its own headline. The man didn't say a word, but people acted like every quiet hour was a coded signal. Some said he was strategizing behind the scenes. Others swore he was panicking. A few conspiracy theorists claimed he had known this arrest was coming months ago. The internet doesn't need evidence, just a rumor and an account with wi-v.fans. Started revisiting old clips of Boona with King Von and Durk, using every frame to build their own narrative. Some used the clips to defend him, saying the system was targeting OTF unfairly. Others used those same clips to argue that the case was inevitable. It didn't matter what the footage actually showed. People twisted it however they wanted. That's the internet's favorite sport, freestyle storytelling. Meanwhile, rap ops and rival fan bases celebrated like they'd won a championship. Old beef accounts resurrected themselves from the grave and immediately started posting throwback diss tracks, screenshots, and petty jabs. History resurfaced like it had been sitting in a cloud folder, waiting for this exact moment. The energy was foul and chaotic in equal measure, but the biggest shock came when alleged court documents began circulating. Authentic or not, the internet didn't care. The second a PDF hits Twitter, it becomes the Book of Revelation. People combed through every line like they were paralegals. Names, dates, locations, witnesses, every detail was screenshotted and argued about. Fake lawyers flooded the comments with incorrect legal advice, and everyone acted like they graduated from Law and Order University. The more the details spread, the louder the paranoia grew. Suddenly, rumors started bubbling that this arrest wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Whispers claimed more indictments were coming. Alleged insiders said investigators were connecting dots across multiple years. Some pages even claimed this arrest might tie into federal-level investigations. Whether true or not didn't matter. Once a rumor hits the algorithm, it becomes a wildfire. Chicago blogs jumped in with their own theories, reminding people of unresolved street tension. They listed past incidents, rivalries, and alliances that fans hadn't heard about in ages. It felt like the streets were speaking again, one anonymous page at a time. Everyone had an angle, everyone had an opinion, and everyone believed they were correct. The chaos was so noisy that real updates got buried under speculation spirals. Fans loyal to Durk were emotional. They claimed this was a targeted attack on OTF's legacy. They said the world couldn't handle their success. They posted heart emojis and prayer hands, begging for Boona's freedom before even reading the charges. Meanwhile, critics used the moment to rehash every negative rumor associated with OTF over the last decade. The two sides clashed hard, turning every post into a debate arena. The culture at large treated the situation like a symbol, not just an arrest, but a reflection of the unending cycle that seems to follow OTF triumph. Tragedy, success, loss, progress, chaos, rinse and repeat. No matter how high Lil Durk climbs, there's always a shadow chasing after him. And Boona's arrest was another reminder of that shadow. Even people outside the rap world joined the conversation. Journalists, activists, lawyers, everyone threw perspective into the firestorm. Some argued this was a classic case of the system trapping young black men with violent charges. Others said the music industry glamorizes a lifestyle that eventually collapses under its own weight. And of course, a few who had no clue what OTF even stood for made dumb comments. Anyway, because the internet is allergic to silence, and just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more chaotic, a new wave of rumors hit, ones claiming that this investigation could trigger legal trouble for other associates. Whether true or not didn't matter. The fear alone was enough to send shockwaves through fan bases and spark endless theories about who might be next. Every hour brought new confusion, new debates, new breaking news, and new emotional meltdowns online. It felt less like a real legal case and more like a live-action saga playing out in front of millions of spectators who had front row seats to a story that kept twisting. Boona's arrest wasn't just a headline. It was a cultural earthquake. And the aftershocks were only getting stronger. The fallout from OTF Boona's arrest didn't just echo, it roared. The moment the mugshots started circulating, the internet went into full crisis mode. Every blog, every fan page, every hater page, every wannabe detective suddenly had an opinion. It felt like the entire world hit pause on their lives just to dissect this one moment. And the ripple effect smacked the industry harder than anyone expected. Lil Durk found himself at the center of a storm he didn't create, but somehow inherited. Every headline twisted his name into the story, whether he was involved or not. OTF member arrested somehow transformed into Lil Durk in trouble. Because the internet never misses a chance to drag someone famous into a situation they had nothing to do with. Even when Durk posted something unrelated, a lyric, a fit check, a promo snippet, the comments flooded with people asking about Boona like he was supposed to run the Chicago justice system from his phone. Behind the scenes, Durk's team allegedly scrambled to figure out what the arrest meant for upcoming shows, appearances, and brand deals. The industry loves talent, but they love their reputations more. Companies started moving cautious, reaching out quietly to reconfirm professionalism and expectations. That's corporate speak for we. Just want to make sure this drama won't touch us. It was the type of passive-aggressive energy only billion-dollar brands can deliver. Meanwhile, Boona supporters stayed loud and loyal, chanting "Free him" on every platform possible. They argued he was being targeted, that the case was exaggerated, that law enforcement was trying to dismantle OTF piece by piece. And whether those claims were true or not, the passion behind them was explosive. Every post became a war zone between fans who believed in his innocence and critics who were convinced. The case was airtight. Then came the street reactions, the kind of whispers that don't show up in official reports but spread like wildfire through neighborhoods, DMs, and anonymous pages. Rumors emerged about who might be cooperating, who might be quiet, who might be on law enforcement radar next. People claimed the case had reopened old wounds tied to Chicago's long-running rivalries. Suddenly, the arrest wasn't just a legal matter. It was a trigger that resurfaced years of unresolved tension. And through all the noise, Boona's inner circle held their own silence. Nobody leaked. Nobody panicked publicly. Nobody posted cryptic messages. That silence created a mystery of its own. The internet hates silence. It fills it with speculation. Fans assumed strategies were being planned. Critics assumed damage control was underway. Every hour without an update pushed the curiosity levels higher and higher as court timelines began circulating and potential hearing dates leaked. The discussions shifted from shock to prediction. Everyone suddenly became a legal analyst. People debated outcomes like they were discussing playoff brackets. Some believed Boona would walk free because of lack of evidence. Others swore the prosecutors had everything lined up. And then there were those who claimed this case could trigger a chain reaction, involving other street-connected situations that had been simmering for years. The legal commentary took over. YouTube like a virus. Channels you've never heard of suddenly had titles like Boona Case Breakdown, OTF Timeline Explained, and Why Durk Needs to Watch Out. Everyone wanted a piece of the attention. Everyone wanted to be the first to say, "I predicted this." The algorithm fed the frenzy like gasoline on a wildfire. But the emotional impact hit the hardest. Fans who grew up watching OTF's rise felt robbed. They'd watched the brotherhood, the loyalty, the losses, the wins, the come-ups, the tragedies. Boona wasn't just another name, he was part of a legacy. Seeing him in this situation felt like déjà vu. Too many OTF members had been lost to violence, prison, or tragedy. His arrest felt like another blow to a crew that had already carried more weight than most people ever would. Opposing fan bases mocked the situation. But deep down, even they recognized the pattern. Every few years, the streets take another name, whether through death or the system. And watching it repeat again hit differently, even for those who pretend to be desensitized behind all the drama. The reality was simple. This case wasn't going away anytime soon. Reports suggested the charges carried serious time, and the deeper people dug, the more layered the situation appeared. Witness reports, ballistics, digital evidence, every leak painted a different angle. The uncertainty was the scariest part. It left everyone wondering if this was the beginning of a long legal saga or the start of a nightmare that wouldn't let up. Lil Durk, whether he wanted it or not, became the emotional anchor of the entire narrative. People watched his social media like they were reading tarot cards. A deleted post meant something. A lyric meant something. A silence meant something. But in truth, Durk was doing what he always does, moving carefully, strategically, and quietly. When you've lost friends, rivals, and family to violence and the system, you learn to choose your words like they're landmines. The streets talked. The blogs shouted. The fans debated. But the people closest to Boona stayed solid, reminding everyone the case wasn't over and that the truth would eventually surface. Some even suggested this situation might reveal connections nobody expected, connections that could shock even the most plugged-in insiders. As the news cycle continued, a different narrative formed. The idea that Boona's arrest wasn't just part of OTF's story, it was part of hip-hop's ongoing battle with violence, trauma, survival, and fame. Every generation faces its demons, but OTF's demons always seem to show up with extra smoke. It's like the universe hands them every challenge, then watches to see how they respond. And the response is never small. It's always loud, raw, and complicated. The culture held its breath, waiting for the next update. A court filing. A leaked statement. A lawyer's comment. Anything. But updates came slow, which only intensified the anticipation. The uncertainty became its own chapter in the saga. The internet thrives on chaos, and this situation gave it chaos with layers. Chaos with history. Chaos with stakes. And until this story finds closure, the world will keep watching, questioning, speculating, and hoping the truth cuts through the noise. Because one thing is certain, once OTF is involved, nothing stays quiet. It only gets louder, and if you made it this far, congratulations, you officially know more about this case than half the blogs pretending they have exclusive sources. The OTF Boona situation isn't just a headline. It's a full-blown saga, a real-life cliffhanger, and the kind of storyline that keeps the streets whispering long after the cameras stop rolling. But trust me, this is only the beginning. If history has taught us anything, it's that the moment you think the dust is settling, another twist jumps out like it was hiding behind the couch the whole time. So before the next update drops, and you know it's coming, because drama follows OTF like a shadow, do yourself a favor and smash that like button like it owes you money. Break that subscribe button the same way these indictments are breaking the internet. Turn on notifications so loud they scare your neighbors, because around here, news doesn't drop gently. It crashes in like it just kicked down the door. Drop a comment too, because I want to hear from the real analysts. Do you think Boona is beating this case? Do you think more dominoes are about to fall? Or do you think the system is doing what it always does, spinning chaos into headlines and hoping the world eats it up? Let me know your take, your theories, your conspiracies, all of it. The comment section is about to look like a courtroom with memes. And don't forget, tomorrow's video is already heating up. Another rapper, another scandal, another moment the culture won't be able to shut up about. This channel doesn't sleep. We stay tapped in, locked in, okay, and ready for whatever madness the rap world throws next. You're watching The Rap Truth, where the stories don't just unfold. They explode. They explode.